tension today. Relations between the Philippines and China have teetered on the brink of a new low in recent weeks, with tensions ratcheting up over a series of disputes around the South China Sea. One was an alleged phone conversation between Chinese and Filipino officials taped by China that made headlines earlier this month. It purportedly claimed to show a Filipino official agreeing with measures to ease tensions at the cost of concessions by Manila. Before that, China attempted to thwart a Philippine humanitarian mission near the Scarborough Shoal by firing water cannons. An overcrowding problem on China's artificial islands in the South China Sea could be solved with tunnels, according to a Chinese ocean engineering project team that says it has developed an excavation method to overcome the limitations of the soft coral sand. After a rapid expansion of its presence in the contested Spratly Reef chain that began about a decade ago, China has eased back on construction in recent years in a bid to soothe the nerves of neighboring countries. The Philippine Navy's missions include patrols from the east to the internal waterways of the 7,641-island country. Moreover, with an external threat from China, the force is looking to acquire high-end anti-air and submarine warfare capabilities. Manila-based geopolitical analyst Don Gill emphasized the need for upcoming procurements. The next step will be to ensure how such acquisitions can be effectively and practically integrated into the Philippines' overarching desire to enhance its ability to secure both its internal waters and surrounding seas, said Gill. Ko highlighted that the country's other maritime security organizations could to some extent reduce the funds the Philippine Navy needs for inland duties. The Philippine Coast Guard, and to a lesser extent Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Modernization and Recapitalization Program, can help free up the Philippine Navy to focus more on conventional warfighting and other military missions than just patrolling and enforcing the country's EEZ, said Ko. Equipped with Japanese and French patrol vessels, the Philippine Coast Guard has been frequently deployed to the South China Sea to protect Philippine fishermen, ward off foreign vessels, and escort Philippine Navy resupply missions to Scarborough Shoal. The Philippine Coast Guard is set to procure a large number of ocean-going patrol ships in an upcoming modernization act. Japan pledged to fund 7 patrol ships on top of the existing 12 previously handed over, following a diplomatic visit to Manila in November. Philippine senators have also eyed Austal's shipyard in Cebu to build pre-offshore patrol vessels. While the list of assets is not yet public, Manila has been eyeing the procurement of 2 to 3 attack submarines from either France or South Korea and more BrahMos supersonic anti-ship missiles from India for its army. Other major procurements include 4 landing platform docks from PTPL Indonesia, which are the largest ships in the Philippine Navy at 7,200 tons. Donations from the U.S. include 3 Hamilton-class cutters and 3 Cyclone patrol ships. These patrol vessels frequently patrol the South China Sea and waters around Mindanao. An additional 4 patrol vessels, 2 Protector and 2 Island-class patrol boats, were eyed for transfer to the Philippines pending congressional notification requirements, according to a White House press release last year. Joshua Bernard Espina, vice president at the Manila-based think tank International Development and Security Cooperation, told USA News that he expected the Philippine Navy to procure more of the same offshore patrol vessels, corvettes and frigates previously procured by Manila to bolster its presence in the South China Sea. These relatively small but multi-role surface platforms are just what the AFP needs to put a presence in much shallower east waters. Especially on a tight budget, the PD needs flexible navigation for tactical and operational gains, said Espina. On the other hand, Espina views the procurement of submarines as a symbolic acquisition due to the conditions of the South China Sea. The attack boats would be better suited to operating in the Luzon Strait between the Philippines and Taiwan, he acknowledged. The Philippine Navy retired its last World War II-era surface combatant in 2021 without a replacement, which reduced the overall ship count of the service. Ko emphasized that the service must view modernization through a qualitative and quantitative lens. Espina advocates for a good enough defense plan for Philippine forces and assigns the high-end fighting to the U.S. under the 1951 U.S.-Philippine Mutual Defense Treaty. Here, we leave the U.S. 7th Fleet to do the rest of a Mahadian style of warfare on the high seas. It sounds downgraded when we look at the tip of the iceberg. My hunch is that the D&D seeks to optimize AFP's joint operational concept by bringing in more air defense, shore-based missile cruise missile systems, and fixed and rotary multi-role wing systems, among others, said Espina.